So, you want those badass Iron Banner weapons and the level 32 gear without playing the raid and praying to RNGs that they drop, but you're tired of getting pooped on in the Crucible and you figure the Iron Banner is going to be even worse. Well, don't worry, because I got your back. Because there was once a time when even I sucked ass in the Crucible. And in this video, I'll teach you my occult, Pythagorean, Illuminati, Freemason, esoteric, black magic, voodoo methods for becoming an awesome ass Crucible player just like yours truly. And you may be wondering, what qualifies me to be giving people Crucible advice on the internet? Well, just yesterday after I'm matching the Iron Banner, some guy messaged me and he was really salty and he called me a camping nigger. And that is definitive proof that I'm doing something right. So listen up. I'll teach you some of the fundamentals and then we'll move on to some more advanced stuff that'll really help you kick ass in the Crucible. Tip number 1. This ain't Call of Duty. Destiny is incredibly different from Call of Duty for a few reasons. 1. The TTK, that is the time to kill, is much greater in Destiny. Why does that matter? Well, it's because in Call of Duty, you never have to aim for the head because all that matters is that you see the other guy first and you get shots on him first. And if you can do that, you'll get the kill. But not so in Destiny. There have been many times when someone has gotten the jump on me and shot me first, but I won the gunfight. Why? Because I went for headshots and he was just shooting me in the stomach and the chest. The longer the TTK, the more important headshots become. So when you're in the Crucible, always go for headshots. This one tip alone will probably massively increase your KD in the Crucible. Something else that differs Destiny from Call of Duty is the radar. In Destiny, everyone has a constant UAV, so everyone knows where everyone else is. Dull moments are rare in the Crucible because everyone is converging on everyone else's position, which means, young kindergarten, that everyone is constantly gunning for your ass and they know exactly where you are, so you better learn how to use the radar intelligently and defend yourself. A lot of times, gunfights are won before they even start because one player was able to interpret the information from the radar faster and or better. So to summarize the basics, if the red indicator is bright and filled in, the enemy is on the same elevation as you. If it's darker and faded, that means the enemy is either above or below you. Or it means that they're on the same level, but they're just jumping right now. So if they're on your level, prepare for a gunfight. Try to figure out where the enemy will pop out and strike and position yourself accordingly. Or if you want to be the aggressor and go after them, assume that they're preparing for you, so have a plan of what you'll do if you see them waiting for you and aiming at your face. Maybe toss a grenade at them and then blink out of the way and then finish them off. These are the kinds of plans you'll have to come up with, and you'll have to come up with them quickly. If the enemy is above or below you, figure out if they have a way of getting to your elevation and killing you, or maybe they can possibly kill you from above or below. You have to figure these things out and plan accordingly. I should also mention that while the radar will tell you which direction the enemy is in, it will not tell you how many enemies are in that direction. So remember that you might be running into 2 guys, not 1, so keep that in mind. Also, you have to decide what weapon you'll want to go with based on what the radar tells you. First, there's the inner circle. This is when the enemy is very close to you. If you ever see the middle circle glow bright red, immediately whip out your shotgun and get ready to hit the enemy with the patented shotgun melee combo that will almost always wreck your enemy's face. If the middle area grows, you know, that pizza looking area on the radar, don't bother with the shotgun because it's not shotgun range and the enemy will instead wreck your face and you'll look pretty silly. Sadly, I've been on the receiving end of this situation more times than I'd like. And finally, the outer circle is scout rifle, sniper rifle, and Soros regime territory. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about this because the way the maps are designed in Destiny is that there's very few long lines of sight. But they still do exist, so you'll have to be careful and you'll have to learn these lines of sight. So now on to some intermediate tips. If you're going to be successful in the Iron Banner, one thing you have to learn is that control is not domination from Call of Duty. Control is team deathmatch with bonus points for the number of flags your team is in control of. So contrary to what I first thought, simply holding 2 flags for the whole match will not win you the game. The majority of the points your team earns will be from kills. That being said, there are some similarities to domination in that you'll want to control 2 flags and allow the opposing team to keep 1 because holding 3 flags at the same time is really difficult. Another thing to note is that spawn traps can easily be broken in Destiny. All it takes is one guy to get out and he can flip your spawn. So you'll likely switch flags from time to time. And I think knowing how control works is half of the battle because I see way too many people playing it like it's domination and they're just throwing themselves on flags hoping that they can live long enough to cap the flag and that'll be enough. Or other players might just straight up ignore the flags as if they're not even there. The best way to win is someplace in between. First of all, if you want to cap a flag, push up to the area of the flag as a team. Lone wolf capping is not recommended because you'll probably die in the middle of capping the flag or as soon as you cap the flag and then the enemies will take it. But yeah, push up to the flag area as a team and kill every motherfucker standing in your way. Once that's done, bunny hop your ass onto the flag, but don't just stand there and circle jerk with your teammates. Keep one eye on the radar and another eye on the avenues leading to the flag from the enemy spawn. Ideally, you don't want everyone looking in the same hallway. you want to divide your attention and cover all paths that the enemy can take. And before I go any further, if you have a mic, use it. Switch to team chat and give your team some directions, because even if they don't have mics themselves, when they hear your beautiful, dominant voice, they will listen to your commandments like it's the words of God, and your team will prosper. And if any enemy players jump on the flag to confront you, switch to your shotty and hit them with the shotgun melee combo. Now once you've captured the flag, be sure to defend it from those savage fucks you stole it from. A good tip while capturing or defending a flag is to delay the enemy's advance by tossing grenades in the avenues leading to the flag. This can really help your team capture a flag and control, especially when you're outnumbered. And don't forget about the home flag that you started with, because the enemies might go for that one instead of the B flag if you successfully have locked down the B flag. Which brings me to my next tip. If you find yourself being spawn trapped by the enemy and they've locked down B, go for their spawn flag and flip the spawn. They'll become disorganized, and then this is the perfect opportunity to seize control again. Sadly, I've lost a few matches because the enemy team has been able to do this to me, but I've also done it numerous times to win matches as well. The next tip is to play and move as a team. Lone wolves will have a hard time finding success in the Crucible, and I've learned that the hard way. Since the TTK is so high, if you try to lone wolf it and run into two enemies, you're guaranteed a death unless they really screw up. On the other hand, if your team is constantly moving together, you'll have the advantage when you come up against a lone wolf yourself. And I don't mean that you guys should move around the map holding hands, because then you'll be a prime target for grenades, supers, and rockets. Be together, but keep some space between yourselves. A good strategy is to spread your forces around the map. For example, 3 in the B area and 3 in the C area is a viable strategy. But this might have to change depending on how the enemy chooses to allocate their forces. For example, if they have the whole team at B, there's no reason to have those 3 guys at C. They need to be helping the guys at B. When 2 good teams go up against each other, the match becomes a battle of wits and prowess on the sticks to see who comes out on top. And it's pretty fun to participate in if you ask me, but I digress. During a control match, you should always be aware of where your teammates are and where the enemies are. If you have 4 on the B flag and 2 on the C flag, and you're sitting on the B flag wondering where the fuck the bad guys are, then you're probably about to lose the C flag. So it's time to make moves. Either cap A or defend C, and you'll have to make that decision based on the information you gather on your screen. Something I forgot to mention before in regards to the lone wolf thing is don't run around mindlessly looking for kills, because you'll probably get gangbanged and that only hurts your team. I've lost many matches because I had a few players on my team that would play this way, and I'd be incredibly dishonest if I didn't tell you that I've been that player before too. Don't make the same mistake. Think about what your team is doing and what you need to accomplish to win the match so that you can know what to do and find some purpose in your short life. If you see that your team needs help capping or defending a flag, go support them. And if your teammates are running around like mindless fuckwats, get on team chat and use your godly voice to give them some direction, meaning, and purpose in their lives. Now, I know that many people will argue that supers and heavies diminish the skill gap in Destiny. And while I believe this to be true, since it allows a weaker player to easily kill a stronger player, stronger players will make much better use of their supers and heavies and do more than randomly kill one person. So my advice for you guys is to use your supers and heavies intelligently. While it may be tempting to use your super as soon as you get it on the first guy you see, it would be much wiser to save that super and use it to defend or capture a flag. Using a super this way can secure a victory or bring your team back to win. The same goes for heavy ammo. When I get rockets, I usually use them to capture or defend flags. Doing this will score you more points in the short term and will really help your team out in the long run. Oh, and that reminds me, one way I like to use my super is to go into the enemy's heavy ammo spawn and use my super to kill everyone there and then claim the heavy ammo for myself. If you can pull this off, this will be a massive blow to the enemy team and it'll greatly improve your chances of winning the match, because your team's gonna have heavy ammo and their team won't. Be careful though, as this is a high risk, high reward strategy. You could potentially waste a super or simply get gunned down before you even have the chance to use it. And since I'm on the topic of heavies and supers, how do you even beat people that are using heavies and supers? Well, that depends on what heavy or super they're using. Let's start with the heavies. If your opponent is using a heavy machine gun, there's a few ways you can kill them and steal the ammo. If you have a heavy, you can take a risk and go head to head with them. If you have a machine gun, you'll have to outgun them, which can be tricky because this is an important gunfight to win and the littlest things can screw you up and make you lose your heavy ammo. My advice would be toss a grenade and position yourself properly, try to gain the advantage and hope for the best. But my favorite way to steal heavy ammo from a machine gun user is by using my own rocket launcher. If you're quick enough, you can fire a rocket at them and get the hell out of sight and score the kill and the ammo. This is made even easier if you have a rocket launcher with good velocity and or tracking, for example Gallahorn or Truth. Now if you're up against someone who has a rocket launcher, you have to be really quick. So weapons weapons with low TTK like snipers and shotties are highly recommended. In fact, this is my normal method of stealing some heavy when I don't have a super or heavy ammo myself. So whip out your special weapon and get into the effective range and snatch the heavy ammo from that unworthy scrub. Now what about killing people that are using supers? Okay, so killing a blade dancer is like killing a Gorgon. Everyone has to focus fire on it and kill it quickly before it kills you guys. If a blade dancer is running Hungering Blade and kills one of you, you're fucked. Supers that counter blade dancer include Nova Bomb, Fist of Havoc, and Gold Gun. If you're a Sunsinger with Fireborn, don't use it around a blade dancer unless you're sure that their super is finished. Trust me, I speak from experience. Now what if you want to kill a gunslinger with a super? Well, unless you kill them in their super animation, you're pretty much fucked. Unless of course another gunslinger takes them out with their gold gun, or you have a rocket. But if you have a rocket and shoot it at them, they'll probably still kill you in the time it takes for the rocket to hit them. And Void Walkers and Titans are basically the same. Kill them in the super animation with a few people shooting at them, or else you're all fucked. Sunsingers are very vulnerable to heavies and other supers can wipe them out pretty quickly, but a double scorch using Sunsinger with radiant skin can be really tricky to deal with, and he'll probably take 1 or 2 guardians with him if you even manage to get him down. And defender bubbles get wrecked by most supers in the game. However, if the defender himself is crafty, he can use the bubble as cover for an escape or counter attack. Now finally, I want to talk about the mini heavies in this game, otherwise known as special weapons. Sniper rifles, fusion rifles, and shotties can be deadly if used properly, and you'll no doubt encounter players that use these exclusively throughout a Crucible match. The ones that will probably piss you off the most are the shotties and fusion rifles. So the simplest way to deal with a fusion rifle user is to be a hard target to hit. So strafe, meaning move side to side, which is a great tactic to use in any type of gunfight, and jump around so that he misses his shots. Because if he has to charge that fusion rifle again, he's probably dead. My favorite counter to fusion rifle spammers is blink and shotgun to the face. Basically what happens is the fusion rifle user will charge his rifle, shoot at me, but I'll blink and dodge all of his bullets, and then I'll be right in his face. I'll shotgun him and melee him if he survives, and that usually works pretty well. And I know that blink is OP, but so are fusion rifles, and I choose to fight fire with fire. Now countering shotguns is really simple. Just avoid them. They have very low range. Don't walk around a corner blindly while you see an enemy on the radar because you're just asking for a buckshot facial. If you're in an open area and someone charges at you with a shotty, jump and move backwards and kill them when they're sitting ducks because they're too far away to hit you with their shotgun. And of course, you can fight fire with fire again and have a shotgun duel, but your mileage may vary based on what shotguns you guys have and how good your reactions are. Well, that's all the esoteric Crucible knowledge I have to share with you guys today. If this video helped you out at all, please don't forget to smash that like button and share it with your friends so you can dominate in the Iron Banner this weekend. And if you're not feeling too shy, drop a comment below and share your favorite tactics to use in the Crucible. And of course, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. That's it for me, Overman out.